welcome back to another episode of World of Tanks with Guinea Titan. And this is going to be, for the time being at least, the last of my first look at various tanks, because I finally caught up with all the tanks that I acquired. Well, not quite. There's a couple of tier 2s that were dished out at various points last year that I'm just not going to look at. I can't even remember what they were. One of them was an English one, and I think there's a couple more of them that are like tier 2s, and I'm just I don't really want to go down to tier 2 unless I have to. At least the last time I was down there it was kind of bloody chaos. And anyway, that's another day's work and a different thing to talk about. So the last thing I did, it's a few months ago now actually, but it was, I decided rather than buying gold that I'd buy crates instead and use the crates to get the gold, because you always get some bit of gold with the crates. I didn't need a lot of gold. I actually got a lot of gold. Actually, I think I got like 6,000 gold. Now I bought a large bunch. I didn't buy the most expensive crates. I can't remember. I think I spent 14 euros twice or something like that on different types of crates, and I got a Barracuda. So I thought this is perfect actually, because Swedish line is one of the lines that I'm eyeing up, and I had only really one effective. I had two crew trainers. I had the Stridwagen, was it 47 M47, and I just it's not a terrible tank, but it's slow. I don't like it much. It's not a loader bit like this, but it's a very slow tank. And the other one was the Lancet C, which I think is an excellent tank. Now I think if you're buying these things, the Lancet is probably the better purchase. But this is not a bad tank. Now it is an autoloader. It's not the fastest tank in the world, and the armour isn't. I mean, this is not an Emil. It doesn't have a bulletproof turret front. The turret front is actually quite penetratable, and a lot of people will, especially if you're bottom tier or whatever it is, they'll have no problem punching through it. Even in extreme positions like this, where you're able to exploit your very good gun depression. Gun handling is moderate. Good enough, and it's not going to worry you too much. Aim time is going to be a little bit of an issue. So, and because of that, you want to be very judicious about your standing and emptying the clips, especially early in the game. The intra clip, the reload between clip shots in the clip is a little bit on the slow side. Like a lot of these autoloaders, it's a little bit too slow for comfort. So the tendency is to, I think you're better off to move rather than sit there and take it. As you'll see here in a minute, I actually sit there and take it for in this battle. Now I get away with it in the sense that I don't take a huge amount of damage, but at the same time it was probably unnecessary on my part, and I didn't achieve anything by firing out the clip. Because as per usual when it comes to tanks like the Freedom, I keep forgetting which bits of the frontal armour I shouldn't be shooting at, and I think it's the lower front plate that I shouldn't be shooting at, but I keep doing it anyway in the heat of battle. So the big dominating issue on this tank, and like all autoloaders, is the clip reload time. You got like 34 seconds. You got a 3-shot clip. 34 seconds is a lot for a 3-shot clip. So you have to take this into account. You have to be very judicious about where you position the tank. The tank is fast enough to get into trouble, and it's fast enough for you to locate yourself in an advanced position with no support, empty your clip, and then what do you do? And if people realise that because you've emptied the clip, they'll come in on top of you, and the tank isn't so tough and it isn't got so many hit points that it's going to survive that kind of experience. Might do it once, but then you're going to be on very low health points. So the thing there is, you want to make sure you're in cover, or at least somebody has preferably with friends, either with friends directly beside you or under the guns of friends that are nearby who are shooting in your direction anyway, who are engaged with the enemies that you're engaged in. Because the worst thing about nearby friends is that you can be under the guns of somebody nearby, and in theory they could protect you, but if they're engaged in somebody off in a different direction, they're not going to notice the fact that you're in trouble, and you are going to be dead before they do. Because people are going to be doing whatever it is they do. Now we've managed to finish up this battle fairly handily, and I'm waiting for the reloads. So this is another one of the downsides of these kind of tanks, is that especially at battles that go well, although we've not done too badly in terms of damage, you can actually find yourself in scrambling for damage in tanks like this as well, because you're waiting for the reload. And of course, you have other tanks that have long reloads, like the derp tanks, like the HKV2s and stuff like that. These reloads tend to be longer in autoloader tanks, and also they impede a clip in somebody is not quite as much fun as a single shot derp for 700 points of damage or whatever. And here we've taken the second shot. Now we can probably take the third one, but we better get out of here before he moves, and we do. And we managed to avoid the returning shot, but only just. The Audace is dead, and we've actually managed to cap out before the medium could do anything about it. Yes, the medium should probably have ignored me, because I was engaged with the Audace and made a run for the end line if it was going to try and win the game, but it probably wasn't. 3000 damage, second class mastery. Yes, we did pretty well out of this one. Mostly because we got to fire more or less uninterrupted at the enemy tanks. Prokhorovka, nice. Another excellent battlefield for this kind of a tank. Again, you have the gun depression to look at the ridgeline. Peek over it, pop off a shot, back off, and occasionally you'll get the opportunity to bring the autoloader to bear. We're tier 8 as well, we're top tier, which makes it even better because it makes the armor count a lot more. I mean, the armor isn't bomb-proof or even particularly good, but it's good enough. You'll bounce shots off of it, and particularly when you're top tier. But the main thing is the threat and capability of the gun. You've got a pretty good alpha even with a single shot, and the fact that there's another two coming in fairly short order is going to make a lot of people hesitate unless they know, that you've emptied the clip. The other nice thing about this battle is there's no artillery. Artillery is a bugbear in this particular battlefield. Now, the green team are doing... Now, first of all, there's something that happens here. I spotted that Hellcat, but I didn't expect the Hellcat to do what he just did. What he's just done. Now, I think that Hellcat's making no effort to do anything useful. I think it's a deliberate suicide. It's suicide by enemy gunfire. But it's effectively the same as throwing himself into the nearest river at the start of the game, except that he's not going to get punished for it in any way, because well, either that or he's just got lagged out, cresting the ridgeline, which I can't say didn't happen. It happened to me often enough when my internet was poor back in the day, and a lot of people's internets are suffering at the moment, of course, with the whole COVID thing, because everyone and his dog is on the internet at the moment looking for a bit of entertainment. However, from that aside, before I started talking about the Hellcat, the 105 Hellcat, the four or five tanks lined up along the railway there by our guys is not something I like. The problem is that from where I am, probably to the railway, I'm actually not in support for these guys. They can't see me because of the bend in the railway. They could probably see me where I am. Certainly the heavy tank probably can, the ones off the railway line. I'm not sure about the others. They probably can. Maybe the guy's right at the back. There is a stockade coming after me hard. And he's now right on top of the ridgeline. He's, I think, probably tracked at the stage. At least he's stationary. The only reason I could see him for being stationary under this volume of fire is that he's been tracked. And now he's dead. And I really don't know what he was thinking that he was going to achieve there. With a T-34-85M. I don't have too much opposition down here, so if snap off his shot and it doesn't get anywhere. Carl Arwen looks like a good target. We'll put a round in. We'll put a second round in, and now we've got to reload, so we've got to back off. And fortunately for me, the Cromwell and the Hellcat didn't really come up. There's the Carnarvon, but I don't have anything to shoot at him. Now the enemy have taken a bit of a pounding and a depletion here, so coming up, we're going to get reloaded any second now. What, 5 seconds? Any second now we're going to get reloaded, and I'm looking at that Hellcat thinking that Hellcat's on his own. There's nobody behind him. So we'll take the chance. We can come in and just deal with the Hellcat directly, because the first shot's going to cost him most of his health. And then we'll get him with the second shot, or we could have gotten him with a ram probably. And meanwhile, we're also picking out tanks elsewhere, and we could probably turn around and pick the other 2 tanks behind us. Or we could push down into the field, because I don't think there's anybody in this particular section of the field. If there's a tank down the back row, I think I'd have seen it from here. The only thing I mightn't see is something far up into the northwest corner, and the T-95 with the Black Prince has been blown up. There's only 3 of them left, so the Black Prince is 1. There's probably still a guy on the hill and somebody in the low ground behind the hill, so I'm going to come around the corner here and see if I can spot the other tank. I don't have a line of sight on the Black Prince, and I'm just not fast enough to get there. There's too many tanks over there, so I must as well leave the tanks over there and deal with the Black Prince. And I come out here, and there it is, the VIII. We have only a shot remaining, and he's now driving for the low ground to try and get out of sight before anybody brings a gun to bear, and he doesn't succeed, and that's it. Overall, another pretty decent game, so I think it's a good crew trainer. It's decent earner of money. I'm going to be playing a lot more of it, because I want to bring my Swedish crew up to snuff, so that I can I'll be looking at probably doing the Swedish line in the near future once I complete the current grind, which I do occasionally, but I've actually cut down World of Tanks at the moment. I sort of want to free up time to do some other things, and I have a backlog of videos to show, so I'm going to work through my backlog a bit, and then I'll resume again. So I hope you found that interesting, and if you did, let me know, or feel free to comment, and I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like, comment, share. It really helps the channel out, and if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.